The Roar of the Ganges. I'll put the book cover up there. Now this book has been blessed by Swami Tadatmanandaji, the author himself, and with full knowledge that I intended to read it to all of you. And so, after emailing with him, which is a great honor I have received, he shared that I don't even need to advertise it as a book that you can buy, because he's going to make it free as a PDF for everyone, which I thought is truly the mark of a Swami. This book takes us back to his past. Before he was a Swami, he was Mark, the computer scientist from Pennsylvania. And he went to India after a failed marriage. I'm sure it was a successful experience, but they ended up separating, and he wanted to understand more about himself. So he took a bit of a pilgrimage to Rishikesh, a spiritual city by the banks of the Ganges, a spiritual river also known as the Ganga, to study the Vedas, humanity's ancient scriptures, and eventually become a spiritual renunciant. So as a fellow Westerner, it's a very interesting book. And thank you, Sally, for your 65 roses. Radhe, Radhe. Part 2. So we've read enough chapters to be beyond the first part. Part 2, in the spiritual jungle. And here we have some Sanskrit. I love seeing Sanskrit. It is an addicting language. It says, Tad Vijnanartham Sagurum eva bhigachet Samit Bhanis Rotriyam Brahman Istam. From the Mundaka Upanishad, first canto, second chapter, 12th verse. To realize the goal, may one duly approach a competent teacher who knows not only the scriptures complete, but also abides steadfast in reality, in fullness, in peace. Little foreshadowing, perhaps. Maybe we are going to meet his guru. Very exciting. Misguided and Perplexed is the name of this chapter. Saturday, March 11th. Near the main bazaar in Rishikesh, a speeding auto rickshaw swerved suddenly to avoid hitting a cow. It sped in my direction, piloted by a sunglass-wearing teenage driver. When I realized that I was about to become his next victim, I leapt to the side of the narrow lane, barely out of his way. Auto rickshaws are notorious on the streets here. These vehicles, used primarily as taxis, each look like a motor scooter with a two-person cab in the back. But many regard them as three-wheeled demons due to their hair-raising incidents, such as this. Thank you, Sally. And thank you for the additional 22 roses you sent. Radhe, Radhe. I had gone to the bazaar to buy a pair of sandals. I was tired of lacing and unlacing my sneakers many times a day, a tedious task made necessary because shoes are generally not worn indoors here. In a land where most people sit comfortably on mats or cushions on the floor, dust-laden shoes are politely left at the doorstep. Swami Tadatmananda had said I would find well-made sandals at the Lakshmi supplies shop. Lakshmi is the Hindu goddess of wealth. The proprietor probably chose this name to invoke divine grace for his store's business. I am still amused to find the names of various Hindu gods hanging over storefronts. Shiva stationers, Ganesh printers, Krishna sweets. I wonder how New Yorkers would react to business names like Almighty God Insurance, or perhaps Christ Cleaners. But then, what would be the harm in such names? In the South Indian state of Kerala, where many Christians live, I passed shops bearing names like Jesus Tailors, Holy Redeemer General Store, and Mother Mary Juice Bar. Oh my goodness, Mother Mary Juice Bar, I am suddenly thirsty. I stepped into the Krishna sweet shop and asked the portly man behind the counter for directions. Lakshmi supplies kahan hai? The affable retailer kindly gave me details. I carefully followed the route he had described, but nevertheless could not find the shop. When I asked for directions again at another shop, I discovered that I was going in an entirely wrong direction. Why did the sweet seller guide me wrongly? An occasionally maddening feature of Indian etiquette is that it's considered impolite to say no, or I don't know. People here are exceedingly hospitable. They want to help you in any way they can, especially if you're a foreigner. The shopkeeper didn't mean to mislead me. He was simply trying to be friendly and helpful, even though he had no idea where Lakshmi Supplies was located. Even after receiving proper directions, I still managed to get lost. Eventually, a young man sitting on a doorstep noticed my exasperated look and kindly offered to take me to the shop. I returned to the ashram wearing my new sandals. Later, sitting on a bench with Swami Prakash sipping tea, I told him how I had just wandered all over Rishikesh looking for a shop. I compared myself to the confused boy in the 10th man story we read yesterday. Well acquainted with the story, Swami Prakash remarked, "Aha! So both you and the 10th boy needed help to discover what you were seeking. That is quite similar, isn't it?" Except that, I added, when the boy was told the truth, he understood immediately and his problem was solved. But I still got lost after getting correct directions even. I needed more than directions. I needed to be led to the shop. That is true. But the boy also needed to be led to discover what he was seeking, isn't it? The old man in the story who stopped to help did not merely say, "You are the 10th boy." First, he made the boys line up, and then he made the oldest boy count again. By doing this, he was leading the boy to discover what he was searching for, just as you were led to the doorstep of Lakshmi Supplies. Swami Prakash went on to describe how the teachings of Vedanta are meant to lead a person step by step to discover spiritual truth. He described Atma, the true self, as an inner divinity present within each of us and yet remaining unrecognized. To help seekers discover this inner reality, it is not possible to simply describe a route to be taken. Merely giving directions will not prevent seekers from losing their way again and again. To lead them to discover Atma, Vedanta employs a powerful methodology. Swami Prakash explained that every journey is subject to a basic problem. The destination is hidden from view all along the route until you come quite near. On a spiritual journey, the truth lies over the intellectual horizon. The goal is hidden by our own ignorance. And if the goal cannot be seen, if we don't know where the destination lies, then how can we know which way to proceed? Imagine the dilemma, he suggested, of a wayfarer lost in a dense forest. He wants to reach a particular village, but he doesn't know which way to go because he cannot see through the thick woods. He needs a guide, someone who knows where the village is. But if the guide merely points his finger towards the village, the traveler would again lose his way in the deep forest, like you lost your way on Rishikesh's twisted lanes. The guide must lead the traveler through the thick woods, step by step, to the village. So the traveler needs to follow a guide, isn't it? Swami Prakash concluded that we need a guide or teacher who can lead us through the forest of confusion, beyond the boundaries of conventional thinking, to make a radical discovery about ourselves. This journey is a process in which the truth is methodically unfolded. It is a process in which we are led one step at a time to discover the very truth beheld by the ancient sages. In this journey, the guidance of a suitable teacher is virtually indispensable. A teacher capable of leading a seeker in this manner is called a guru. Swami Prakash quoted a familiar verse that defines guru. Gukaras Vandhakaro vai rukarastan nivartakaha andhakara nirodhitvad gururitya bhidhiyate. The syllable gu stands for darkness of ignorance. The syllable ru for the one who destroys it. Thus, the one who destroys that darkness is called Guru. Swamiji, I remarked, do you know that in the West we have computer gurus and investment gurus? Is that so? Here, we mostly use the word for spiritual teachers, or sometimes for dance and music teachers. It seems that guru has many different meanings in the West, isn't it? It's true, Swamiji. The word guru has even begun to acquire negative connotations because of several so-called gurus who have come and abused their students in various ways. Ever since the problems with Rajneesh and his commune in Oregon, I am almost afraid to use the word guru in America. Yes, he said glumly. What a shameful situation. I am sad because such scoundrels have spoiled everything for the many sincere, saintly teachers in India and elsewhere. Those so-called gurus certainly deserve to be contemned for their terrible behaviors, but they are not typical. I understand that, Swamiji. But how can people know if a particular guru is legitimate or not, especially in the West, where deceitful gurus seem drawn to come and exploit sincere seekers? He explained, there are signs one can watch for. For example, a guru should serve himself. He should serve others. He should teach and help people. He should not demand money. He should accept donations only to support his modest needs, and he should never do anything to hurt his students. But how does one know who is the right guru, a true guru? I asked. Some people say that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Is it really so simple? In one way, it is true, said Swami Prakash. When the student is ready, he might find that a true guru has been right there for years, waiting for the student to recognize him. That's very clever, I said with a hint of frustration, but it still doesn't explain how one can identify a true guru. It's difficult, said Swami Prakash with a laugh. A true guru is one who can lead you to discover the truth of Atma. To know who is a true guru, you should first become his student, and then see whether or not he can lead you to that truth. What? If you have to become his student to find out if he is a true guru or not, then isn't finding a guru a matter of trial and error? Sometimes it is, Swami Prakash replied, unless you are fortunate enough to find the right teacher at the very beginning. Sometimes the first teacher is the right one, but sometimes you have to go on looking. What about for you, Mark? Did you meet Swami Dayananda first, or were you searching for some time? And let us pause our reading there. And tomorrow, on ASMR Sunday, so we'll be doing soft-spoken, very calm, not super provoking conversation. We will learn about Mark, or now Swami Tadatmanandaji's guru. But I thank you all for listening with me today.